Coming up on this first daily of the new year, we're talking Tulsa Shootout. There's sprint car news for buddy Kofoid and Brenham Crouch. We've got the Xtreme Outlaw schedule and more. Let's go. Today is Monday, January 3rd, 2021. Welcome into Dirt Tracker Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. The Tulsa Shootout is complete, and we were left with 6 different winners in the 6 divisions on Saturday night. There was some great racing, some drama, and some incredible performances from some guys like Emerson Axum. Let's dive into the results. Axum, who is joining Clausen Marshall for a full USAC sprint car run in 2022, kicked off the night by winning the stock non-wing feature from the pole. He held off Alex Bright on 2 late restarts to earn his 2nd career Golden Driller. Axum was an Outlaw winner in 2020 at the Shootout as well. Mitchell Moles completed the podium in that stock non-wing feature. In the night's junior sprint main event, young Lucas Malden picked up the victory for back-to-back wins in the division at the Shootout. One of the main topics of conversation on the night surrounding the junior sprints involved Kyle Busch's son Brexton. He won the C main, then went 13th to 4th in the B, but missed out on the transfer. He was then offered a promoter's provisional to start the feature at the tail, but the family declined. It was a move you don't often see, but one that was met positively on social media. I wouldn't blame them, though, if Brexton raced. If the promoter wants to let me race in the feature, I'm certainly not turning them down on that opportunity. In Outlaw Non-Wing, the action picked up significantly on the night, and we saw a wild finish and some bitter disappointment. Jeffrey Newell and Blake Hahn started together on the front row, and the two swapped the lead early on. Past halfway, with Hahn leading and Newell back to 4th, Jonathan Beeson made his presence felt. He took the lead from Hahn with 12 to go, and then disaster struck. In turn 3, Beeson bounced off the cushion and nearly wrecked it, but while he was trying to save it, Hahn had nowhere to go and was collected. The caution was thrown and Hahn was sent to the back. And then on the restart, contact between Austin Lambert and Beeson allowed Newell to slip past both and resume the lead. In the closing laps, Emerson Axum tried to run Newell down, but to no avail. Newell beat Axum to the line for the win, but the action wasn't done just yet. Axum actually rode the wall at the line trying to make the pass and ended up going for a pretty big tumble after the checkered. He was okay, but the car was damaged. He later needed a new ride to run the winged Outlaw feature. In Restricted A class, it was a battle of the Jets with Jet Nunley topping Jet Barnes for the Driller. In winged A-class competition, Jake Hagopian grabbed the lead at halfway and drove away to the victory over Christopher Bell and Tyler Courtney. Those two had a spirited battle in the closing laps for that 2nd position. It was a nice win for Hagopian, who had previously won in 2019, but because of a DQ. And in the night's finale, it was all Craig Ronk. He started on the winged Outlaw pole and led all 55 laps to take the win in dominating fashion over Thomas Koonsman and Jonathan Beeson. After the fireworks in the early non-wing features, Axum went 17th to 7th in winged A-class and 16th to 8th in winged Outlaw. Not a bad recovery after that crash. The Tulsa Expo Center goes quiet this week, but it won't be long until things get going for Chili Bowl. Move-in for that event starts on Saturday with the first prelim a week from today. That's next Monday, January 10th. And since we're talking about the Chili Bowl, that would be a good time to mention that the event has officially broken the pre-entry record. As of today, there are 380 cars on the entry list with still a week to go. And also today, you can peruse the initial lineups for each of the 5 Chili Bowl prelim nights over at chilibowl.com. We'll go through everything later in the week, especially once the pool groups have been announced, but for now, all of that information is available for you to check out. 2 drivers we will see racing during the Chili Bowl in buddy Kofoid and Brenham Crouch had a little news drop about them this morning. Crouch's father Leighton and Bernie Stubgen of Indy Race Parts are partnering up to put together a 2-car sprint car operation for 2022. Kofoid will drive 1 car in as many as maybe 50 races next year between the Outlaws, All-Stars, and regional stuff like Pennsylvania. And then Crouch will pilot the other car in 30 to 50 races, mostly in 360 competition. Both drivers will fit in the sprint car starts between their full-time USAC midget commitments. Jeremy Elliott at SprintCarUnlimited.com broke this story, and there are a ton of tidbits in the piece about the deal and Kofoid. Buddy is still in the Toyota pipeline and will also make some more pavement starts in 2022. As for the team and Leighton Crouch, they've moved all of their equipment to Bernie's place in Indiana from Texas. They're hoping to go full-time outlaw racing in 2023. Both Bernie and Leighton would like to have Kofoid full-time when they make that move to full-time World of Outlaws competition, but it will depend on Buddy's situation with Toyota. To help lighten the load, Bernie has hired Brad Alexander from Tony Stewart Racing and Blade Kearns from Rudine, with Alexander set to be the crew chief. Alexander had been at TSR since 2019 and was the car chief on Donnie Schatz's 15. If you want to see more on the story, including quotes, hit up sprintcarunlimited.com. We've been waiting on the schedule for World Racing Group's new non-wing sprint car and midget series, the Xtreme Outlaw Series, and back on Thursday it was finally released. The midgets have 12 races on the schedule, while the sprint cars have 14 for this first year. The midgets will race at Farmer City, Millbridge, Jacksonville, Peevely, Davenport, Port City, and I-44. The sprint cars will hit up Volusia, US 36, Lake Ozark, Peevely, Jacksonville, Spoon River, Atomic, and then there are 2 TAs on the schedule in October. The midget shows will pay at least $4,000 to win, while the sprint car shows are all at least $5,000 to win, with 2 $10K to wins mixed in there as well. Sprint car champion will take home $20 grand, while the midget champ gets $10 grand. And to keep things simple, both series rules will mirror those of USAC and PowerEye. Everything in the announcement is about what I expected, but I do wish the schedules were a little bit heavier. I understand why they're light this first season, but I thought we'd have a few more joint races with some of the World of Outlaws shows. One benefit, though, is it might draw some more drivers and teams with a lighter schedule. Guys can compete for a championship without a huge commitment. And with that, alongside the schedule announcement, we found out that Shane Cockrum and Zach Dahm will join Landon Simon, Jason McDougall, and Chase Stockin as full-time with the Sprint Car Series. Cockrum will run for Shane Wade, and Dahm is driving for Matt McGarry. At this moment, I don't believe we have any full-time midget announcements just yet. See more on the series, visit XtremeOutlawSeries.com. If you're a late model fan, the 2022 season gets rolling in a big way this weekend with the opening of the Wild West Shootout at Vado Speedway Park in New Mexico. One driver you won't see, though, is Jonathan Davenport. Davenport won 3 of the features last year at the Wild West Shootout, including the finale and the points fund, but he tweeted last night that his 49 team will not be in attendance at Vado. The entry list should still be stout, but it's definitely a hit to lose a driver like Davenport from the event. The Wild West Shootout kicks off a busy start to the year for late model teams, with the Outlaws at Volusia coming up right after Vado, and then Lucas opening later in the month at Golden Isles. We'll dive into the Wild West Shootout later in the week. There are 2 shows on the streaming schedule for this Monday, both of them over on Flow Racing. There's Midgets and Saloons from Western Springs in New Zealand and Flow Racing 24/7. To see the full daily streaming schedule with links to watch, visit dirttracker.com/watch tonight. That's it for the show today. Hope you have a good Monday. If you have thoughts about the topics on today's show, please leave them in the comments below or tweet at me. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for more Dirt Tracker Daily.